Hello again, this is SF Gents Fan Mike, coming to you with my fourth take on a Fate Apocrypha reaction video here, guys. Alright, so I just got done with Season 2 of Fate Apocrypha. I don't know if I just have different tastes than most of the guys on my comment section. When they mention Fate Apocrypha, they basically, I was warned to have low expectations. And really, after watching the first part of Fate Apocrypha, um, again, when I first started watching it, yeah, with the setup, I didn't really have high expectations after that. Maybe now that I'm a month or more removed from my initial Fate Zero on Unlimited Blade Works, oh, excuse me, guys, and Unlimited Blade Works watch through. Maybe now that I'm far enough away from that hype, I'm really liking what they did in this series. Okay, so I'm gonna grant you guys something here. With Fate Apocrypha, they did a lot of things I didn't like, and I'm gonna start there. Not to get on a rant roll, guys, because I really did like the series, but I want to start there because I want to acknowledge this series definitely had its flaws. Um, the main thing for me, it had too much liberal uses of the Deus Ex Machina. Um, and I'll just focus on the two: the Deus Ex Machinas, uh, or plot devices, or however you want to throw all that kind of stuff into one. And number two is holy crud! I just totally forgot what I was gonna go with. Oh, and it was I won't say continuity because I'm going to speak to that. I'm going to start there actually. And with like kind of continuity, inner workings breaking. All right, guys. So I'm going to acknowledge something here. I've had the epiphany this last, well, really today, that the Fate series, Fate, Stay Night, Fate, Apocrypha, Fate, Umbrella Star, Umbriel Star, or whatever the other games, Fate Grand Order. I actually caught something today when I started another playthrough of Fire Emblem Fates. Now, I'm thinking that this word Fates translates to if, because Fire Emblem Fates is here in America. In Japan, it translates, that word supposedly translates to if. So I'm guessing, how do I put this, guys, coherently? I'm guessing the Fate series, another way to say this is like the What If series instead of like the Fate series, the What If. For those of you that are comic book fans that are specifically Marvel, they have a series, what if whatever happened? Like, what if the Hulk killed Wolverine? I remember that one from when I was a kid. What if Spider-Man had stayed bonded to the Venom symbiote? Another one that I bought. I remember owning this one and I don't have it anymore. But what if Frank Castle had gotten the Venom symbiote? Can you tell I was a Spider-Man / Venom fan when I was, in my younger days? Yeah. So I'm guessing that kind of applies here to the Fate series. So how does that affect, I'm trying to address continuity and how things work, etc. I'm guessing each story is going to be in an individual universe with its own workings, whatever. Like the Fate Stay Night ones are all kind of in the same, I won't say the same universe, but their universes are all ones that kind of work together. They have the same internal logic. They have even though like the whole Fate series seems to have some systems that they share, the Holy Grail, the Holy Grail Wars, etc. It seems like each set actually has different total logics. Like, oh my gosh, like there's Fate Extra, where apparently instead of it being even though like they have a Holy Grail type system, It's something that's digital instead of the actual Holy Grail. So they have their own unique inner workings, and then there's their own what if paths. So you can't really kill any one series. I'm guessing you can't kill any one series on continuity from the different ones, like Fate Stay Night. Fate Zero and Fate Stay Night kind of set up a system where there's a Holy Grail. The Holy Grail chose 7 masters. Those 7 masters would each be able to summon one servant. Um, um, I'm thinking on my feet here, guys. So that's how it worked in that realm. That I don't. It's maybe that multiverse is the way to call it. I'm not 100% sure, but in that section of alternate timelines, alternate universes, however you want to think of those guys, that's kind of how it worked. And now here we have Fate Apocrypha. It's kind of linked to those, but it's its own thing. So it should be allowed to have its own internal logic, its own systems, its own etc. And what I don't like about Apocrypha is that they did change these things, and I don't think it worked for me. Um, while I really ended up coming to liking a lot of the characters, I came to like a lot of the servants, etc. Because they made this change, this overarching change, where there's 2 sets of 7. You doubled the servants, you doubled the masters, and um, you just put too many people out there for me. And that's kind of what that created for me. Because they decided to change the logic for this universe to them being able to have these kind of special Holy Grail wars where there's going to be 2 factions, and then those faction, one faction beats the other, and then they have their own Holy Grail war. And it has a system in place. That wasn't mentioned at all in the initial offering of Fate Zero and Unlimited Blade Works in the animes. I know, again, if you go back to the games, they might say something, but here in the West, we don't have access to that. I can't go play Fate Stay Night at all. It has not been released in America. And Type Moon, let me tell you, hold on, guys. Let me tap my screen here so I don't. Okay, I'm tapping the screen so it doesn't turn off on me. Type Moon, if you somehow hear this, I'm gonna try tomorrow to find your customer support, send you a suggestion. Release this stuff in the West. I'm interested in Fate Stay Night. Even if you just released a localization of the PS2 game on the PS4, I'd be happy with it. Because I'm trying to go back and I'm trying to find that stuff, and it's expensive, or I gotta do the not so legal stuff. And I really don't like doing that stuff. I may do it if I get frustrated enough. But Type Moon, you want easy money from me? Get Fate Stay Night in video game form over here. For some odd reason, Japanese companies, again, Type Moon, I'm speaking to you. Japanese companies seem to think that we don't like what you guys like. We like what you guys like. You guys finally start releasing the Fate series over here. You got a new big fan in me. I'm a month old in the fandom, or a month and a half, or however long it's been. I'm really enjoying your guys' take on stuff. I'm really enjoying this set of universes. But you're not releasing it here in the States, so I can't get a hold of a lot of your stuff. Get on that. All right, guys, I'm back to you guys. So again, back to the continuity, the systems and all that. I really didn't like that, because what that created for me was, again, like I said, too many people, too many servants. You didn't get as attached to everybody. And then on to the second problem. I don't know if Deus Ex Machina is the right word, but there were a lot of, hey, plot convenience, hey, this, that, the other, where things just happen. And the main one I can mention stuff from, I'm just going to name one that really kind of ticked me off. It kind of makes sense, but it ticked me off because I loved, again, guys, I got spoilers here. I've been talking about spoilers. Really, really, really saddened me that Frankenstein died. And I think I mentioned in one of my other, as I was talking about Fate Apocrypha at some point to you guys, I mentioned that I felt kind of bad because I never really got to know Frankenstein. She was kind of a cool character. I would have liked to had more. And those of you that have watched this that are hearing me probably know what my beef is. All of a sudden, her death affected Sieg, and Sieg somehow was able to absorb some of her powers, and that helped him out in the end. What? What? There was no hints before then. Maybe if I go back and rewatch those last couple episodes where that stuff was happening in the end of season 1, maybe I'll see it now that I know that they have that plot twist. But this is initial reactions, guys, so I don't remember there being something where I was like, hey, Frankenstein in doing her last second attack is maybe affecting Sieg in some way. Okay, guys. And the last thing I really didn't like, again, plot device, plot conveniences, etc. And what that affected was John d'Arc and Leticia, kind of, sort of, slightly. I know people didn't like the romance. I'm going to talk about that and the stuff I did like. And some of you guys are probably already, oh my gosh. Anyway, guys, but this was still kind of a character moment. John d'Arc levels up. She goes super, and they did something with the main protagonist where they decided he was going to go pull a Jiren, and her going super just wasn't going to matter. Maybe not Super Saiyan, but she leveled up. She got more powerful. She actually got the uniform that I've seen in Fate Grand Order. That I was like, but she normally doesn't wear that. Where does she? Because I have a lot of I had a lot of level 90s, level 90 John d'Arcs in my friends list. So I was like, but I've never seen her wear that. So yeah. They kind of stole that character moment. She got the level up, and I thought she was going to get the win. And I did not like that, because then it fell on to Sieg to somehow subvert the main bad guy. That did not work for me. And it was because of this Deus Ex Machina, this plot contrivance, however you want to call it. I would have been okay with John d'Arc, a ruler against ruler, with her saying a prayer, getting a power up, presumably from her god. Well, John d'Arc's god would probably be my god too, but the totally, again, different universe. And let's not start talking about religion. That'll get really yeah. Anyway, guys, she gets this power up. It looks like she might be able to pull from certain defeat guys, and she ends up getting killed and dying in Sieg's arms, and Sieg takes matters into his own hands. And because of this Frankenstein plot device, plot contrivance, in my opinion, Deus Ex Machina, he's able to defeat the main bad guy and go into the Grail and get his wish granted. And again, that's another thing I guess maybe I'm not familiar with in Fates, is why the heck are multiple people getting wishes granted from the Grail? I didn't see that happen in Fate Zero. In fact, I don't think in Fate Zero or Unlimited Blade Works there was a wish that I know of that got wished. So maybe it's just because I didn't get to see the Grail grant a wish. Um, and also I'm guessing because all right, guys, this is kind of where having Fate Stay Night to be able to play through, I might have learned bits of lore that would have been helpful for this ending. This Fate Apocrypha seems like, especially with the ending, they specifically mentioned Heaven's Feel. I'm thinking Heaven's Feel route. I haven't been able to obviously play through that route because the game's not available here. In fact, I can't even find the movie. I know they released that last year at some point. So I'd like to get a dubbed version of that and watch this trilogy as they're putting it out. But hold on, guys. Let me. Okay, my battery's holding. Okay, sorry, guys. Dry mouth, dry mouth. My apologies. Okay, guys. So now you know what I didn't like about this series. That stuff. What did I really like about this series? Those characters they decided to put focus on. Oh my gosh. I loved those characters. The ones they decided to give character development to. Oh my gosh, they got great character development. Like one of the characters I really liked again, how do I put this? All right, guys, in Diablo 2, which is like one of my favorite games ever, my favorite character there was the Amazon. I spent hundreds of hours playing a Boazon. So whenever there's archers around, I tend to like them. Which is probably why I don't like Gilgamesh. He didn't once pick up a freaking bow. He's called Archer. He did not pick up a bow. He can't be Archer. He didn't have a bow. Don't tell me he's an archer. Rant aside. But both of these archers in this series had bows. But the one I'm talking about is the cat lady. I want to say Atlanta. But I want to say there's an extra A sound on there, guys. So forgive me. Sometimes with the names, I hear them for a whole series and I still don't get them pronunciated right. But you guys know the one, the cat lady, kind of green ears, etc. Where her whole thing was she wanted to protect children, and going into this Grail War, that's if she got a wish, that would have been her wish to change the world, that the children would all be loved. And that is such an admirable wish. I will agree with that. Oh my gosh, that's an awesome wish. It's kind of on the naive, idyllic side, but I'm kind of a naive, idyllic kind of person. If you guys have listened to me talk about the Fate series, you could probably get that. So I really liked what they did with her character. So that was her wish. Then she saw John d'Arc take out Jack the Ripper. And this ended up totally breaking Atlanta. And because she was like, oh my gosh, you're going to kill kids. They could be saved. Even though she later admits, she rationally knew these kids couldn't be saved. Well, obviously, because they were dead. They were from Jack the Ripper's time back in, the 1900s? No, not 1900s, 1800s sometime. So, they would have been dead for 150, 200 years at this point. And she sees it and it just totally breaks her. She totally goes ham trying to kill John d'Arc. She totally kind of loses herself, I'm guessing it's a noble phantasm because I know one of her famous feats from a lore video was that she killed a demonic boar or something along those lines. I'm going to use the demonic boar and do this cat lady transformation where she looks like Felicia from Darkstalkers. Bye, Felicia. Anyway, sorry, guys. I actually loved Felicia in the, I want to say it was Marvel vs. Capcom 2. She made an appearance. I played her there and she was awesome. Her super was like kicking kitty litter. At least that's what I used to call it because I was 19 at the time. And anything to be naughty sounded cool to me. But I was like, oh my gosh, she has a kicking kitty litter to kill you. Ha! Anyway, guys, back to Atalanta. I really like how that progressed. She just totally lost herself to this. She fights, tries to fight John d'Arc to death, and it takes Achilles stepping in, which again, stepping in and, I don't say he talks her down, but, he fights her and he gets her work through it. She steps back from it and she dies a heroic spirit. I don't think heroic spirits die. I'm not sure. You know what? That is something I'm gonna have to look up because I know at the end of Zero, Saber, Arturia went back to waiting. We know Archer or Emiya from Unlimited Blade Works. Again, I don't know about the other two routes so much, guys. I'm sorry. I'm working on it. I'm due to get my excuse me, guys. I'm due to get my tax return soon, so I've been kind of looking up how I can get a hold of this game legitly, so that I can kind of remedy that fact. But we'll see what happens, guys. Um, but anyway, we see Emiya. He's kind of a special case because he's not the typical heroic spirit. Rin was able to summon him because, oh my gosh, I just thought about that. Time travel, timey wimey stuff. Because if she, anyway, guys, sorry. Like I said before, the Fate series is kind of like the What If series. So thinking about all this stuff, from what I have come to understand, because that pendant would become a relic later, it would still allow her to summon Emiya then, even though he was still alive and in the same era, which is kind of weird. I mean, come on, guys, let's all go. I mean, if I was in that, if I was there, guys, I'd be like, can I find some robotic arms? Let me summon the freaking Terminator, right? Or T-1000 or something. Anyway, guys, sorry. Actually, you know what? I say that jokingly, but then I think about it. I think Arturia would take out the T-800, the T-1000, and probably the one from Terminator 3 too, with her noble phantasm. So that might actually not work out so well in our favor if you were to do that. But anyway, guys, I you know what, guys, with these reactions and stuff that I'm coming to you with, I'm going to stop trying to make them concise and I'm just going to let these be rambly for now. And eventually I do want to make more streamlined content for Fates. But I'm still kind of just in the, hey, this is my reaction. Hey, where I'm kind of learning about it. I'm no expert, so I'm not going to put out lore videos. There's no video games that I own right now where I could put out either let's plays or guides or whatever. Um, I have stopped playing Fate Go. I've actually Fate Grand Order, I should say. I stopped playing that. As much as I loved the story, the gotcha just killed me. I think I said that from the first. Excuse me, guys. From the first time I started the first video, I might have said that the gotcha was just gonna kill that game for me, and it did. Maybe I just wait to start the game up again. Start with a fresh save. I don't think I linked it to anything, so I could download it, start a new one when they have Arturia or someone I really like on a banner. Um, and then I'll be able to play that. But oh, that was just so frustrating. Anyway, guys, back to Apocrypha. So again, I liked the way they characterized when they focused on a character. There's so many of those masters and servants like Samson. Samson could be dynamite, not Samson. I'm sorry, guys. Spartacus. I mean, dude, they made a whole HBO series about this dude. Um, and it was you have so much to work with there, and they made him a berserker. Okay, I could see that. And instead of giving him some kind of personality, I know like when they did Hercules or Heracles, however you want to pronunciate it. I'm not sure what it is officially in English, but what they did with Hercules, he didn't talk. So it's kind of just sad that you had Spartacus there, a character you could do a lot with, and then they put him in the Berserker class and they muddled his mind so you don't really get to see too much out of him. You can't characterize him. He's just anyway, guys. I don't like the way Spartacus was uh, characterized in this series. Uh, but like I said, the ones they did, I loved it. I mean, they did. They also did a good job, like with Jack. Actually, with Jack, they did a decent job of making Jack a. I want to say she's almost got a Hassan of the cursed hand thing going on, where yeah, sure, there's one main one, but she's kind of a multitude. And again, if you guys watch the series, you'll understand better. You kind of, at least they made her an empathetic figure where you kind of get where they were going with it, even if I don't think that was what Jack the Ripper actually was back in the day. Although, with what they said about the whole, the heart being where the mana is, that actually kind of would make sense that if, you had a rogue mage and she was killing humans by gripping the heart and sucking out the mana from the heart or something, or we honestly don't know. As much as we call it Jack the Ripper, from what I've read, and maybe I've done too much fictional stuff on Jack the Ripper, but like documentaries and stuff, I know I've seen on him, so I don't know what's bleeding over, guys. But to my knowledge, they know almost nothing about Jack the Ripper. As crazy as a figure as that was back in the day. But they did a good job of kind of making her a caricature. I think in season 2, everybody that was left, they got a pretty good, characterization. Not great, just good. Um like the main villain, we got his motivations, but we didn't really get to see who he was. And maybe that was because he did the whole I'm going to strip all my emotions so I can do what I need to do thing. Um yeah, they did a really good job in the characterization. The other thing I'm going to say, again, I kind of remember season 1, but I'm going to go with season 2 here. The action was on par here. It was superb. They had very good pacing from scene to scene to scene to scene. Especially towards the end, they did a really good job of the scale and the scope and the fighting. It was kind of cool to see between I want to say that was Karna, but one of the Lancers versus Sieg as Siegfried. Excuse me. That fight was off the hook. It kind of got into the Dragon Ball Z type of stuff, where they were throwing death beams around all over the place. That was definitely on par. I liked a lot of this stuff, guys. Let's see. The last thing I'll talk about that I liked in this was I did kind of like what Sieg and John had together. All right. I'm going to bring up my first thing here, my whatever about it. I don't like the fact that you have John d'Arc, known as a virgin, a maiden, or whatever you want to call it. And all of a sudden, as badass as they made her in this series, they have her fall in love. Uh, I didn't like that. Because you know what, guys? I think if this had been, let me see, if this had been John the Baptist, who again was martyred, he was he was one of the forerunners. He was the forerunner to Jesus. They had John the Baptist or the Apostle Paul. I don't see them falling in love. Let's say you flip the genders. You have a Paul the Apostle or John the Baptist or insert famous martyr here that's male, that died young, etc. Although Paul and anyway, you get the idea, guys. Male famous martyr from Christendom, and then you have a female homunculus that breaks free of the control. You're not gonna have Paul or John or whomever. They're not gonna fall for this female homunculus. They're not gonna do that. But for Joan of Arc, they do. Or maybe they do for the guys. I don't know. It's anime. There's a lot of, as much as I sometimes make fun of communities, but I'm a big Ruby fan. I don't know if you consider it anime. I do. But the Ruby fandom loves to ship. Um, Even things that are nonsensical like nuts and bolts. That is to say, Penny and Ruby. They ship it. um, Although they have a really good friendship, I don't see it going romantic. But in anime, even in Ruby, they kind of do a lot of teasing, one way or the other. Like, just take Blake. One quick Ruby aside here. Let's take Blake. They kind of have it where Yang and Blake are getting close, are really close friends. You kind of see the seeds there where if they decided to have that go romantic, they've been sowing the seeds. But then with Blake, they've also been sowing the seeds. Maybe because Sun's a guy, they're a little more obvious with it, and they're both oh my gosh, Faunus, that's the word. Maybe because they're both Faunus, they're a little more obvious with it. I don't know. But anyway, guys, that aside, again, with Joan, guys, I didn't like the fact that she even fell in love, that she had romantic feelings, because as a character from York, that was not what she was about. And then all of a sudden, she falls for some random guy. So that said, the relationship. Once we get that aside, it is kind of squick in the fact that you got Joan of Arc, falling in love randomly, right? I did like it. I did, especially today as I was watching it, and I just kind of let go of, hey, I'm just going to let go. I'm going to follow the character, and I'm going to forget the historical lore that we have. I kind of liked it. Because I can see where she would like him. As much as I want to kick and scream about Joan of Arc or John d'Arc, falling in love, guys, I can kind of see it. Here's this guy. He's come to. He's this guy that really can't help himself. And then anyway, guys, I can see it. I can see what she would see in him. But her falling that hard in what does Fate Apocrypha take? How long does it take? I know there's a 3-day skip at the end, but before that, it's maybe a week. So she fell hard for this guy in 10 days, 2 weeks, even a month. Ew. Like, complain about what you would maybe with Rin and Shiro and Unlimited Blade Works. Excuse me, guys. Sorry. Drank too much soda earlier. Complain about what you would like. What would Rin see in Shiro? Or, that was fast. They did kind of put the groundworks where he's always seemed to have noticed her as an attractive, love interest. But she had noticed him doing all those high jumps and his dedication. She had noticed that. So there was already kind of groundwork being built into this. Uh, where here, you have 10 days, even a month or 2 months, and she's head over here for this guy. I want to really say it was like 2 weeks tops. Um, but I do say they did do a pretty good job of that. When it comes to his side of it, Sieg's side of it, obviously he comes to sentience, and all of a sudden, Alfonso, oh shoot, Astolfo, I want to say Astolfo, immediately helps him out. And the gender reveal on that one was awesome, guys. I had my doubts. I was like, wait, the name is Astolfo, which if this is Italian, Spanish, Latin, the O is male, but it really looks like a girl. So when they had that scene when I want to say it was John walked in on him coming out of the shower, that was epic. Sorry guys. Uh, you could see where he would get attached to people. I mean, Astolfo went out of his way to save this homunculus. Where if he doesn't do what he does, he's just going to be put back and drained of mana, and he's going to be discarded or be made a garden. Oh my gosh, those poor homunculus guards. They got so beat up over this series. And yeah, Sieg overall, I will say he's like a 6 out of 10 character. I like him well enough. He's the naive, obviously no world experience before breaking out of his pod. So he's kind of that naive. What do you call that? Where his design is, you jump in his shoes. He's obviously that kind of character, and he does it well enough for that character. But those have low ceilings, in my opinion, unless they grow out of that role. And he never really does. He never really grows out of the character where we're supposed to be able to put ourselves in his shoes and run with him. So, but I did like that characterization. I've talked a long time. I'm guessing this is going to be another 40-minute episode here, guys. My phone did dim on me once, and I've been tapping periodically. So I'm going to leave it here, guys. I really liked Apocrypha, and I didn't like, the Deus Ex Machina, the uh, and I don't want to call it like, what did I call it earlier, guys? I'm doing this all in one take, so I apologize. What did I call it earlier? The oh my gosh, the lore, not necessarily the lore. Anyway, guys, I didn't like the fact that they kind of broke lore continuity. They kind of, I understand that it's its own continuity, but I didn't like how they changed it and what that caused. What I did really like, I really liked the characters when they I like the characterization of the characters they characterized. I loved that uh when they did an action scene, it felt awesome. I liked the pacing. It was kind of like breakneck speed, but I guess that also happened in Unlimited Blade Works and Fate Zero. They used the first season as kind of setup, and then they go breakneck. We lost, you start losing people left and right. Although that kind of started in season 1 here in Apocrypha because of there's just so many. You got to start knocking people off. And then I like the relationship between John D'Arc and Sieg. And I like how it ended up too, where kind of like from what I hear about the Fate ending of Fate Stay Night, where eventually Arturia and Shiro meet up and they get their happily ever after. Um, it was funny because my nephew had walked in as I was watching the episode, kind of the series kind of wind down, and he asked me, how do I like it? Oh man, I loved it. Whatever. I'm like, kind of a bittersweet ending, but that's kind of how they end. And then like 2 minutes later, I'm like, oh my gosh, happy ending confirmed. Um, when John Derek finds him in the other world, and he transforms back to a human, and they walk off into their proverbial happy ending sunset. I'm like, again, guys, I'm naive, I'm sappy, I love that stuff. And guys, the one thing I do, oh, man, I wish I would. All right, guys, I just want to cover one character pairing, really. In oh my gosh, I don't remember the necromancer's name, but him and Mordred. I just want to say those guys were awesome all the way throughout the series. Again, they characterized them, they grew, etc. Especially with Mordred, how she came off. She was always kind of the punk rebel with saber face, as they have in Fate Grand Order. They actually have a tag of saber face. She's saber, but kind of a punk. She kept that to the end, but I like how at the end she kind of grew past her hatred of. I was going to say her father, her mother. I'll leave that to you guys to label it. They call her father, but Arteria is a woman, but she provided the male end because of magic or something. Oh man, the liberties these guys can take because of where this series started. It's always fun to see. But I really like that last little scene between those two. I wanted to give that a shout out. They did that really well. Even to the fact that um how she kind of overcame. Oh my gosh, I had her name. Anyway, the assassin that's actually a mage, that's actually an empress. Um that deals in poison and had the basilisk and all that stuff. I like how she defeated her, kind of sort of defeated. Did enough damage to take her out of the fight. I like that last scene. And I also like, again, for characterization, that she decided, I don't know if it was out of loyalty or character growth or however you want to put it. I like that she stayed with the necromancer to the end. Um, that was badass. I'm going to put it bluntly. That was badass. Um, I can't say enough about that scene. Anyway, guys, so there you have it. My little reaction to Fate Apocrypha Season 2, fresh off the presses. I finished it. I went to the restroom and decided I was going to record it. I was going to record it tomorrow after some cooldown, but I decided the 10 minutes of cooldown was enough, and I was going to come out here and I was going to do this. So if you've made it somehow through all of this, I thank you so much for listening. Please comment. I mean, I still have questions about the lore, even after watching a bunch of lore videos and watching, what is this now, 5 series? I've watched uh Fate Zero, Unlimited Blade Works. I've watched now Apocrypha. I've watched 6 episodes of Prisma Ilia. I've watched the Fate Grand Order uh special movie, however you want to put it. And I want to watch more. I'm really, this is a fandom that's really building for me, so I'm kind of cataloging here, guys. And I thank you for kind of walking through this with me. For those of you that have been here every video, I really appreciate you guys. I really appreciate your comments. I love learning about this stuff. I really do want to get my hands on stuff. And when I get my tax return, guys, I might not get how do you put it? I might not get Fate Stay Night because it's like $200, and that kind of bums me out. But if I don't get that, I'll probably get Umbral Star for the PS4. I would go back and get Fate Extra. I want to say there's two for the PSP, but the PSP screen is just too small for me. The other day I went to go, I guess it was a couple months ago now. I went to go play something on my PSP. What was it? Final Fantasy Tactics. And then I booted up Tactics on my phone because I bought it through the Play Store. And I was like, I was playing. How do you put it, guys? Sorry, guys, I'm getting a little loopy here. My apologies. I'm trying to do an outro here, guys. But I played Final Fantasy Tactics on my PSP. Then I booted up the Lion War on my phone, and then I was like, wait a minute. Then I, compared the screen size, and my phone's like way. Oh wait, you could tell I was holding it like you have to play. I was holding it like you have to play. Excuse me, the Lion Wharf on my phone, and I noticed my phone was way bigger than my PSP. So maybe I'll look for that on the Play Store. I don't think it's available on the Play Store, but maybe they'll catch a clue. Because I would gladly pay $15 to be able to play Fate Extra on the phone. Again, that's something I have looked up, and I have not playthroughs, but people like talk you through the storyline. Like, wow, that sounds cool. That actually seems like it'd be fun to play and go through and all that fun stuff. And it definitely has that's kind of funny because Fate Extra, maybe I'm thinking of Umbral Star, but anyway, guys, they have the built-in time travel on it, and I was like, like I said, this is the What If series, and I'm loving it, guys. So anyway, again, guys, thank you so much if you've made it through this, especially if you made it through this really elongated outro, guys. I'm doing these in one take. Thank you so much. If you guys can leave a like, comment, let me know what maybe else I need to check out. I know there's two new animes. There's like a oh my gosh, guys, I'm so excited. There's a slice of life one from Fate Stay Night. I don't know which particular branch this is coming from, or hey guys, this is Fate It. This is the What If series. It's probably its own thing completely, but it's like slice of life, and I'm super duper excited to go look that one up. Oh, excuse me. And then there's um Fate Extra. That's right. Fate Extra, that's also coming out. They're not on Verve, the Crunchyroll, the Super Crunchyroll. They're not on Verve yet. So I'm gonna be seeing if I can find them somehow, or whatever. I don't know if they haven't released yet and they're just talking about them. I want to say it was a Mother's Basement Winter 2018 preview, and I saw those and I'm like, I want to watch those. Fate Extra and the Shiro Emiya cooks for everybody. That just looks like it. I know it's probably not going to be that great. It's not the same thing as all this other Fate stuff, but I will take Slice of Life in the Fate Stay Night universe. That'd be so cool. Uh, it'll probably disappoint just because it can't match. I don't think anything can match the hype. Just to be able to kind of play around with these guys some more, which is one of the things I like about Prismalia, is that you get to play around with those characters, And I haven't I think the other video is going to go up before this one, where I talk about Prismalia and the altars. I only got to episode 6. I wanted to get it up on YouTube before I continued the series, but I'm going to continue the series this week and see how far I get. Anyway, yeah, so there's my future plans. Thank you, and I will talk to you later. Super long outro, guys. Have a good night. Bye.